started, wasn't like you, broken hearted, couldn't fight it. We were painted, one and only, didn't see you, didn't know me, we've been changing.
So, when I first heard the original, the first thing I thought was, okay, I'm going to speed this up and I'm going to pitch it up. So I took it from, I think it's 89 BPM. Yeah, it's 89 BPM, the original, and I took it to 115. And I pitched it up like maybe 3 or 4 half steps to E major, which I'm very comfortable with that key on guitar. And I just love writing in that key just because it sounds so just triumphant and happy, and it hits real hard. So the first thing I did was I took the vocal. So here's the verse vocal.
Wasn't like this when it started, wasn't like you, broken hearted, couldn't fight it.
So I wanted to reharmonize it slightly, but also kind of keep it the same. So that's why I have the electric guitars doing what they're doing. It's kind of familiar, but it's very simple, but it takes it in a different direction slightly.
Wasn't like this when it started, wasn't like you, broken hearted, couldn't fight it. We were painted, one and only, didn't see you, didn't know me.
So that was kind of the first thing that I came up with. I was really proud of that guitar part. It's like, it's catchy, it's intricate, it's tight, and what I wanted to do going into this was have like a very natural, warm sounding song from this, like, you know, electronic music can sometimes feel a little cold, or I don't know. I wanted to go for like a really natural sounding song. So all the drums and everything, there's some synthesized drums for sure, but there's a lot of like sprinkling in of real sounding stuff to kind of balance it out. Like I used for the kits, I used for the main drums was this battery kit here.
Wasn't like this.
Some kicks and some snares and some little clappy clave sounds. And for all the cymbals, I used the Modern Drummer pack in Contact.
We were painted.
So there's a lot of like little ride cymbal bell hits and hi-hats throughout the whole track. The other big virtual instrument that I used for drums was It's a plugin called Damage in Contact, and it has all kind of just ridiculously huge sounding drums. So this is what they sound like. So like in the pre-chorus where it goes all like, you know, tribal sounding, that's the main drums there. So those are the three like virtual instrument drums that played through the song. If I'll give you an example, like here's the chorus, I think. The cymbals are coming from that mono drummer. Everything else is battery with some Damage sprinkled in. So anyway, I like to start with drums when I go through these types of things. Those are the three that were not from Native Instruments. Now, I did pull some Native Instruments loops like this one. It's very simple, like just give it some color. Here's another one from Native Instruments, a little more full. So that kind of plays off each other when you hit that verse.
When it started, wasn't like you, broken hearted, couldn't fight it. We were painted.
So that was pretty cool. So that's those two. Here's another loop to add some more color to the verse 1B. So when you get to the pre-chorus, this drum loop comes in, which again is like pretty synthesized and poppy, but if you surround it with this, you get a nice mix of like really syncopated, like crazy sounding stuff. So the next track down is another drum loop that I threw into the back half of the song, and it's pretty full, and it's got like a nice kind of flamminess to it. It really gave the back half of the song like a lot of body. I got some grapefruit and Jameson here. So the next one down, I'm just going straight down the list here. You have there's some vocal one-shot samples from the Native Instruments free pack that they gave away in tandem with this competition. You had this, which I love. I love that sample right there. It's just a nice little like happy sounding woo. We also had this hey, and there was like a one-shot clap that I pulled out just to add a little more syncopation. I don't even remember what's the context of that. Let's see. It's just thrown in there just to give it a little more flavor. I don't even know. But I used this woo a lot, even in the back end here. I chopped it up a little. Here's what it sounds like in context. So the real star of the show is the bass guitar. This thing is just a monster. This whole part was ridiculous. Very syncopated. It just it gave the song so much body. There was the longest time I lent my bass out, and I was trying to write this song without the bass, and I just at one point I was like, I can't go any further until I get that bass guitar back, just so I can feel what that low end is going to sound like. So the bass guitar that's the first time we actually start using plugins on anything. I have, let's see, a little tuner for when I'm tracking. I have an EQ, which I just scooped out a little bit of the mids, and then a compressor, which is hitting decently hard. So that's it for the bass. That's the whole bass. Now, guitar world down here is a different story. There's a lot going on. I like to have my guitars sound kind of loose in the mix. I don't go through and edit timing on any of them. I just get it right at the source, and then the little bit that I am off, it just adds to the body of the guitars. I did some EQ stuff here just to scoop some low end out and add a little bit of top end, and I think most of these, that's what the guitar is doing. So Here's that main guitar soloed. Here it is with the bass. Here's another little lead that comes in. So the rest of the guitars, here's the intro I did separately. I was so proud of this intro with these little guitars going everywhere. So here's the intro. So I'll solo out those guitars so you can hear them. And here's the little harmony one. It was just a little fun part to start the song, grab your ears' attention, if you will. What is this? Oh, this is the marimba. The Native Instruments free pack that they gave away had this marimba sound in one of the plugins, and I used it a lot. As you can see, it was here, and I think I left it out for the chorus, but then it came back in for the verse and the last chorus. It adds to the kind of tropical feel I was going for with this song. So I just put a little major key, E major chord flourish right at the end of that. That's nice. It just gives like a little good intro into the verse. The other two, I used two more Native Instruments, virtual instruments from that free pack, and here's one in the first chorus. This is only here to give the song a little bit more top end, and honestly because they kind of said you had to use some of the stuff from this pack. So the reason these are audio files and not MIDI files or virtual instrument tracks, this computer that I'm showing the session on, it has been updated in 5 years. I have all my plugins, all my virtual instruments, everything works exactly how I want it to in Pro Tools 10, and I'm never touching it until this machine dies. It's the most stable thing that I've ever worked on, so I'm just going to keep it like it is. Now I have a Mac Mini that is up to date on the OS, on all the software stuff, so that's what I downloaded the new virtual instruments onto, and I opened it up in GarageBand. So I just played it with a MIDI controller through GarageBand into this computer. So these are all played live. They're not quantized or anything. I was just kind of playing the keyboard along with the song. So the last virtual instrument is this organ that comes in later. Again, it was just because it was there, and I kind of like the organ, especially at the end. You can kind of hear it really good. So yeah, let's talk about structure now that we've seen all the puzzle pieces. I left the verse pretty much the same in terms of structure. Where I started to mix things up was the pre-chorus. Let's see if I can find it. And if you listen to the original track, the pre-chorus is drawn out way more. I just condensed it down into 2 measures. Just so I just really wanted to get to that chorus because I knew that was going to be a big payoff. So it was just like a little. I didn't feel like it needed to be that long, so I just really condensed it down, and I put that little drum break in, and there honestly wasn't even harmonic content there at all until I tracked the bass. So originally, without the bass, it was just like these little lead parts happening here with these guitars. Here, I'll play with the vocal.
I know you've been afraid, but through it all I stay.
I knew I wanted to end up on the 1 chord. Even though I start on the 1 chord. Do I start on the 1 chord? Let's see. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I knew that part right there, that little rhythm. I really wanted that to be the 1 chord, so it would just go right into the chorus, staying on the 1. What else is happening there? So you have the bass, and it's honestly just doing like a 5-6-1, I think. Or is it 4-5-1? Something. Yeah, 4-5-1. I just thought it sounded cool, so I went with it. I have this riser here from the Native Instruments pack. That happens in the pre-chorus. And then one more woo, as you can see there. Here it is. Right into the chorus. And I was actually going to delete this chorus and start over after I heard it the first time. I wasn't like a super huge fan of it. But once I added the guitar leads, it ended up being fine. So I'll mute the guitar leads, and this is what it sounded like before. The guitar leads are still there. Is it you guys? Yes, it is. Okay, so mute those. Bring these back in. I was really pleased with these, actually. These were the original leads that I ended up keeping as well. It's very like Blink-182 Enema of the State part. But it just worked under the very simple chord progression I laid down. Okay, I'll play with the vocal.
I'm yours. No matter who you are.
Very simple chord progression, but you know, the simple chord progressions are often the ones that really just fucking nail it home. So the whole chorus, it's fine, but it kind of took away from the that I had, you know, because I'm taking that 4 on the floor away from the kick and adding this kind of syncopated pattern, but it's fine. It ended up being fine. So I put these guitars in there after the fact. Kind of doing like a ping pong trade-off type of deal, and I thought it added some cool stuff to the chorus. Oh yeah, and the big change here, harmonically, was I added a harmony to the main melody and almost forced the main melody into a harmony space where I really wanted this guitar part to be the melody that you hear first. So if I mute lead vocals and you just listen to this lead guitar, so that's kind of what I wanted to get stuck in your head, as opposed to this.
No matter who you are, I'm yours.
It's good, but it has like a darker kind of connotation to certain notes in that melody that wasn't really lending itself to like this big triumphant chorus. So that's what the guitar is doing. I don't know, is there anything else? These held chords, I don't know how I feel about them. They're just like big, like classic rock style whole notes. I don't know if they add anything or not. You could probably delete them and the song would be the same. So the second verse is really where I start to get a little bit ambitious. So out of that chorus, I really wanted just like a simpler I didn't want to go back to the doom, gun, 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 gun. So I just wanted to go 4 on the floor, doom, 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 and have that bass come in with that, and really hit it with the damaged drums. And then I don't know how I came up with this little like fill after he stops singing there. This. I had the bass guitar in my hand, and I was just like playing around with different like ridiculous fills that would take up the entire measure for me to just like run around on the bass, and just land right back on a note. And I found this rhythm and it ended on the and it ended on the 1 chord, and I'm like, what if I don't come back in on the downbeat? Like that would just take away from the moment. So I added in like a pause, and then I come back in on the 3 chord up to the 4, and it just worked so well. Like I'll give you all the guitars and bass, because I had the guitar double it an octave up, and then I had actually had the marimba come in for this as well, and I think like a 3rd guitar. So here it all is. So that's probably my favorite part of the whole song. Drums wise, here's the battery. There's not much going on. It's the fill lies within the modern drummer. This is one of the times that I use the toms a lot from this modern drummer as fills in the choruses and stuff, but I really hit it hard here. Here it is. But you've been saying. So when you add the other 2 kits, it just gives it like this nice, like, organic, everything comes together in a nice way. I think I threw the vocal in it, apparently. Oh yeah, I threw another woo in there just because I like the woo. So here's that part with everything going on. And the drum kit's coming out of that part. And then I just went to a 4 on the floor with a clap on 2 and 4. Still had the doom 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 doom, but it was with the toms. And it just like it worked so well with this chord progression down here. I'll solo the guitars again so you can hear that. It's like a 3, 4, 6, 6, 5. So yeah, that, and it just worked really well with the melody. So I'll talk about this pre-chorus. Let me start the camera over. So this pre-chorus, get a little sync. So the second pre-chorus, I did not compress the pre-chorus like I did on the first time. I let it play the full pre-chorus like it is on the record, but I wanted this like ascending harmony that just went up and up and up and landed back on the 1, almost like you were just walking up the E major scale. So here's the bass part. Actually, I'll play the bass and guitar parts here, so you can kind of hear how it just walks up. This is the beginning of the pre-chorus. So So it lands back on the 1, which is exactly what the first one did, and it transitions really nicely. So if we can go through, I think it starts on the 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Really nice. And the drums there are just kind of doing like a holding pattern of what was left over. And then there was like a 1 beat pause. So I left that from the original song. Then this last chorus, it's my last chorus. It's the second chorus in the original song. So I did a different chord progression. Instead of just going 1, 5, 4, I think it was like 1, 3, 1, 3, 4. It was like 6, 5. So, and I really wanted to just get like this syncopated dotted eighth rhythm. I really wanted to just have everything doing that. So the drums are doing that. Even the guitars are doing that, and the marimba's doing like this little thing on top. Here's the organ. Halfway through, I come in with like a subtle 4 on the floor kick just to give it like some grounding. And then, I had to get out of that chorus somehow. Oh, also the other thing I did here was I even matched the vocal to that dotted eighth rhythm. Here. Wait, let me find it. Unsolo those. Here.
No matter who.
Instead of just being straight, no matter who, I did to match with the drums.
No matter who.
And then I just kept the rest of it the same. I didn't really like the little tag, I'm yours, that thing over the 5 chords. So I took that out of both choruses. It's just gone. You can kind of hear it. I think I left it slightly in right there, but whatever. So coming out of this, he changed the the time signature to something related to the original, but when you have the click, it's no longer 1, 2, 3, 4. If you listen, he kind of does this weird.
I've been dreaming for a long, long time, for the day when I could call you mine.
So it's still related to the same tempo, but he just took it in a weird, I don't know what you call it. I don't know there's a word for it. I just kept it in the same tempo and time signature, but I added like a 5/4 measure to make up for the beat difference. So this is what it sounds like coming out of the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And then I just did a little outro on the 4 chord while he did his little vocal run. And then I just walked it right down to the 1 chord. And that's the end. If I really had more time, I might have gone through and did like this build up. And then did like another like, huge chorus with everything coming in and just everything hitting hard. But this is a decent ending. I think it's not bad. So that's the whole track. I think we have a total of, if we do a tally really quickly, we have his lead vocal, we have the lead. Oh yeah, this is another stem that I used in the choruses. His little arpeggiator, it was the only thing that didn't have harmonic content that would clash with my new chord progression, so I just pulled it out. Whatever, it's fine. Now that I've pointed it out, maybe you can hear it. It's buried, but it's there. Technically it's there. So I had that arpeggiator, I had his lead vocal, I had 3 virtual drum instruments, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drum loops, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 one-shots, bass guitar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guitar tracks, 11 guitar tracks, 3 native instruments, virtual instruments, and that's it. So for mastering, this was just for tracking purposes. This C6, ignore that. I had an instance of Ozone 5, which I was using the pre-EQ, the harmonic exciter, which is probably the only reason I still use this plugin. A little bit of multiband compression, some stereo imaging, just to widen everything out. Here, I'll do a before and after on the stereo imaging. Not much, very subtle. Another post EQ, and then for the rest of the chain there. Oh, that's why I was okay. Forgot to. So here's the C6. Just getting rid of some of those frequencies. Then I had the multi-max on here, doing a little bit more EQ work for me while attenuating to get a loud signal. So that's it. That's the whole thing. Hope this was interesting. Appreciate the listen, and we'll catch you next time.